all sooky now. It's Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I'm Ethan Van Sciver. You have come to me, and I'm glad that you have. This is the channel where I review portfolios, your portfolios, brutally and honestly. Why? How dare I? Well, I am a comic book artist with 25 years experience in this business. I've worked independently, Marvel, DC. I've illustrated for Jordan Peterson and others. And I'm, humbly offer you the benefit of my years and acquired wisdom therein. I hope that's okay with you. It seems to be. I'm getting a lot of portfolios submitted, and people are anxious for feedback over their own work, and of course they are. Of course you should be. And the key to this series is that you mustn't have thin skin. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I am going to look at your work with a professional eye. I will judge it, I will criticize it, I will tear it apart if I need to. What we need to do is find your shortcomings and your mistakes, and everybody has them, and we need to find a way to fix them, bring attention to them, break through that eye. I used to know a comic book pro who used to say, I've got to break through my eye. I've got to break through my eye. And I always thought that was a wonderful expression, because I knew exactly what he meant. You have to learn to see things differently and fight your instincts to do something new and bold. So that's what we're going to try to do here. This is Brutally Honest Portfolio Reviews number 21. I do want to introduce you to Juan Soto, who has offered me 4 pages of pencils and inks, and they are intriguingly titled The Death of Rose Tico. Now, why he called this The Death of Rose Tico, I guess we're going to discover that together. I've kind of glimpsed through these pages, but I have not looked at them very closely. We will work that out as a family, okay? All right, so we start out with this establishing shot of a gentleman leaving a comic book store, and it appears to be nicely done. Right away, there is a perspective problem that you may glean. The horizon line is right here at his groin or his crotchola area. I won't say peen or anything like that, but basically all the lines converge right where his junk is, and that's fine. The problem with that is, as we've talked incessantly before, I really try to drive home what the horizon line means. And it's such a fascinating concept. And really, if you do understand the horizon line, so many other things about perspective immediately begin to make sense to you. The horizon line, of course, is where the sky meets the earth, okay? Like, that's what it actually is. But also, it is the viewer's POV, okay? So your eye line as a viewer of this panel, where the camera has placed us as a viewer, will always be on the horizon line. They'll always be the same thing, okay? So the horizon line seems to be right here. And the thing about the horizon line then is that once you establish, say, a person or anything, an object's relationship in association with the horizon line, then all other objects in that frame, in that panel, must also relate to the horizon line, assuming they're all on the same plane, like they're all on this floor, okay? They all must kind of relate to the horizon line the same way. So in other words, if the horizon line is here and it is meeting him at his groin, then basically everything else in the panel, no matter how close or far away it is going to sort of meet the horizon line at this gentleman's groin height. So you've got this trash can here, which is nicely placed, because how big is a trash can? Well, it might come up to, a little past your groin. So that's kind of where this trash can is. This table, unfortunately, is a little too low. This would be, I don't know, below his groin. I mean, that's a low table. What is this? And this box over here, also very strange. It appears to be floating in midair. Why is that? That is because this door, the set of doors here, look at this. Look at where the horizon line is. Now, obviously, these doors should be much lower, because a fella's groin is going to be, he's going to walk out the door. If that right there, that's his figure, right? You've got to kind of be, a door has to be at least as tall as a human being. So you picture that here. His groin is going to be right around here. So the door is too high off of the horizon line. It should be down here somewhere. Okay? That way he can fit out the door. I hope that makes sense. I try to explain these things carefully. The horizon line is key. The other way to deal with this is to, the whole thing needs to be redrawn. I was going to say you could lift him up if you want to make him relate to the door, because right now, the horizon line, where it's placed, he would need to be raised up in the panel so that maybe his shin would meet at the horizon line. So he would actually be standing on the floor there. It's strange, isn't it? I mean, once you actually look at this for a little while, things start to pick up and float around in the panel. Things are not on the ground. They're not meeting the floor properly. The more you stare at it, the more confusing it is. And that is because the horizon line, the figures and the objects in the room are not relating to the horizon line on the same point. All right, so by the way, let's back up and let's look at this entire page. I should do that here too. Okay, so, all right. So he leaves the comic shop here. Again, we have some perspective issues. You can see that the ground is, we're looking at the ground like a perfect bird's eye view. See how this is all like perpendicular and everything? I mean, there is no perspective in this panel at all, except for 1 point perspective this way. And yet this gentleman, he seems to be almost laying down, or he's falling backwards against the ground. If we're going to look at a perfect bird's eye view, of this panel, essentially we are going to see the top of his head. We're not going to see very much of, we'll see his shoulders, we'll see the top of his head, we'll see his little feet coming out, but we're not going to see so much of his body tilted backwards like this. You would have to change the perspective of that panel in order to make this figure work within it. The door would be right, the building would be right about here. And then we would have to work out. I think actually my fake 3-point perspective might work well for this particular frame. I understand why you did what you did, but it doesn't quite work. I am not sure what this is here. This is one of those close-ups that we talk about that do not work, and you can't do this. You can't just show close-ups of things when the storytelling is unclear. We have I guess this is a hand because of the thumb. There's all this shadow, so we're not sure what this person is grabbing. Don't know. We see another thumb here? What? I don't know. And then we cut to this. I guess this is this guy, but we don't know that for sure because we haven't really seen very much of his face. This is the first we're meeting him. So there aren't too many indicators to connect him to him except for this curl in his forehead. And then, Interesting. This hand is really strange as well. This hand is really strange. And then we get another look at what looks like a completely different scene here. Is this him? And it looks like this is maybe Plastic Man. And Plastic Man has stolen his comic books. And again, this is all very, very unclear. I like, I like the boldness of the line, even though it's a little too bold. You've pushed him into the foreground, and the background figures are receding, and that's very nice. This is a heck of a drawing. It is good. Like, this part is pretty good. I'm worried that this is actually the rest of his body. I'm worried that that's Plastic Man's groin there. I'm talking a lot about groins. Right down here, you can't really see it. Um, and I feel like he should be, like his leg should be back here with the gentleman he just stole from. Uh, yeah. I mean, it's an effective panel drawn wrong. And that is better than, this panel, which is neither effective or drawn correctly. This is an effective panel drawn incorrectly. And as I've said before, I prefer those. All right, so page 2. Suddenly we cut to Rose Tico and Admiral Holdo. They're all very recognizable, and that's Ray. They're all scowling. Very well done. Yeah, good likenesses. They all are about as beautiful here as they are in the movie. So well done. And then I'm not sure where they are or why this is happening. And then we cut back to Plastic Man, who looks very sinister here. And it looks like he's met Hal Jordan, who is turning into Green Lantern. He's getting rid of his regular clothes. Yeah, okay. And he's got a very interesting cartoonishy style here. This is very nice. Yeah, these are the dead bodies of Han and Luke. Long live SJW Star Wars. As you can see, Luke Skywalker has been impaled on Kylo Ren's ridiculous lightsaber, and Han Solo also has been impaled on Kylo Ren. I guess I would assume this is, I don't know whose lightsaber that is, or if that even is a lightsaber. I can't really tell. But those are the dead bodies of Han and Luke. And okay, I mean, this is very good drawing. This is obviously my one. That's supposed to be Ryan Johnson. Please use photo references. Head is a perfect circle. Ordinarily, this is not quite right. That must be Kathleen Kennedy. Who is this? I don't know. It appears that Ryan Johnson has some kind of a knife, I think. I'm confused as to who this represents. All right, so we're getting into some action here. These panels are all completely, I guess you would want to add word balloons to connect them, but of course they are completely unconnected. Perspective here is very strange. These look like dolls. They look like action figures on the ground. Maybe they're meant to be. Maybe that's what you meant them to look like. I don't know. I can't tell. All right, I'll change the page, and it looks like, boy, I'm really, oh, I get it now. Okay, so that was Carrie Fisher. He's cut off Carrie Fisher's costume, and it's Meryl Streep. That's a wonderful, accurate depiction of Meryl Streep. Nice job. And Plastic Man reacts, okay, like trying to stop this, I guess, from going down. That's pretty good. I would like to see his arm. I don't like the way his arm goes off and then his hand comes on that. You really are going to have to move him over here, and then we need to see that stretchy arm all the way to connect with that hand. Yeah. Rose Tico, it appears Rose Tico is firing her gun. We have a silhouette back here. Good background work, good shot. And Hal Jordan and Plastic Man are repelling the attack. Hal Jordan is wearing his old Gil Kane uniform. Yeah, that's fun. And he's put up a green construct shield to deflect those laser blasts. Very nicely done shot here. Very nicely done. I like Plastic Man's giant hand creeping forward out of the frame. Yeah, I have to say, as these pages go on, they get better. This to this, very nicely done. The inks are, the inks are going to take some time to get used to. They're so bold, I guess they're effective. For some reason, you are, well, you're still pushing the foreground from the background very nicely. Your mistakes are, all, it's just like this here. I mean, this is just you don't want to cut off cut certain things off of the frame like that might cause a little confusion. And this could cause confusion if one didn't understand what Plastic Man does. All right, so let's go to page 4 and let's see what happens here. We've got Plastic Man grabbing Han Solo and Luke Skywalker's, I don't know if they're dead bodies or if they're action figures or what. And then we've got, oh yeah, look, really, really good. I have to say, I like this because it's clear that that's Rey, it's clear that that's Rose, it's clear that that's Admiral Holdo. What is this here? Don't know, but something's happening. Oh my goodness, it's Transor Z. So, Transor Z shows up and squashes them. Like, that was his foot. Nicely done. Yeah, really, really well done. I like the cracks here on the ground. Can't complain about this beautiful depiction of Transor Z. And Plastic Man does he want his autograph? No, he's got his comics back. Or he's got his comics. Okay. Yeah, nicely done. And of course, the comic book is Cyberfrog. A few drawing mistakes. But I can't really complain about too much of this. The story as it is was really good. I enjoyed the surprise guest star appearance from Transor Z. Nice to see him again. And of course, anything with Cyberfrog in it is good. Yeah, good job. Is that the pilot of Transor Z right there? And I wonder if the pilot of Transor Z was the fellow who was buying the comic books in the store. That would make sense. That would really tie the whole story together. What happened to Han Solo and Luke Skywalker, we may never know. But what really matters is what happened here. You can see some blood leaking out, and just, a mess. He just went and just squashed him. Big robot, that's what they can do. Juan Soto, thank you so much for submitting your portfolio. This was one of the more enjoyable portfolios that I received. I am grateful for your hard work and dedication, and it's clear that you are a fan of this channel. So you are appreciated, my friend. Well done. We want to work on our perspective. Go back and please watch my perspective videos and listen very carefully. I want you to learn about the Horizon line and understand how to use it. And other than that, great work. Very, very nice. I can picture, back in the old days, they used to have, DC Comics used to have a series called The Big Book Of. And The Big Book Of would be, 3-page stories, like interesting stories on a subject. And they'd have various comic book artists come in and illustrate those 2-page stories. And your art style reminds me of some of the artists that I saw in those big books. I could see you getting a job doing one of those. I think it was called Paradox Press. Yeah, DC Comics kind of imprint. But anyway, great job. Hey, if you would like your portfolio reviewed like this, just send 4 to 6 pages to ethan12032@gmail.com, or you can DM it to me on Twitter @EthanVanSkyver. Make sure to follow me here on YouTube if you enjoyed this content. If you like interacting with my subscriber base and me, smash that like button as well, or dislike if you didn't like this. And also, let's see, my Patreon link. Thank you for everyone who is donating to my Patreon. That Patreon link is in the description below beneath this video, so consider pledging $1 a month to see more content like this. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you again for Brutally Honest Portfolio Reviews number 22. And so that was Brutally Honest Portfolio Reviews number 21. Thank you to everyone who has donated to this channel. These are my Patreon backers. You guys are terrific. Thank you for your donations and pledges for the month of April. They ensure that this content will continue on a daily basis. And I do appreciate you very, very much. Maybe you'd like to join this community. The link to pledge to my Patreon is in the description below. Thanks very much.